Hey, kia ora, Helen Brahms here, coming to you live from Sun City in Arizona. Hope you're having a super fantastic, sparkling Serenity Sunday. Yes, that day of the week we go. So how was your Serenity Sunday? What did you do today to relax, refresh, and recharge? We went, if you saw this morning's broadcast, we were from a parking lot somewhere after we'd picked up breakfast. What did we have for breakfast this morning, Zeph? Well, she has no idea. Well, I think we did Burger King this morning because that was close to where we were at the dog park. Because after we left the dog park, we were both hungry. So we went up to, and I think Burger King was the closest. Well, it was the first fast food place we came to. So we figured that'll do for breakfast. And so if you go to Zeffie's Great Adventures, you will see her running up and down the park. We were in the middle of the three parks. They've got a big small dog park, then they have a big dog park, and then they have another big dog park. And they had the far one, which is the last one. They had that, which is the biggest one. They had it closed today, so we were in the middle one. And as we're going down there, one of the dog owners stopped us and said, "Oh, which park are you going into?" I said, "The big dog park." She said, "Well, you need to be careful because," and told us where the muddy patches were. And there was a lot of standing water down there. It stunk. And I was like, "Oh, great." But she needed to go for a run, and she's too big to go into the small dog park because she would just run over everybody. And she would look like the big awkward kid. She'd look like the big awkward kid standing out amongst the little kids. If you get that picture, if you've ever been the big kid in the small kid area, you know what I'm talking about. But she had fun. There was a little dachshund type dog that was on the other side of the fence, and it kept running. It was like running flat out. It was running as fast as little legs would go. And Zeph is just loping along beside her, keeping up with her, slightly ahead of her, and then she zooms off. But she had a lot of fun running around. And when we went to go back to the car, her paws were all muddy. There was mud up the back of her legs, and I was like, great, thank goodness I have a really good seat cover that it doesn't matter about the mud because I can just wipe it off afterwards. I will tell you this, by the time we got back to the car, her feet and the back of her legs were clean. I was like, how the hell does that happen? She had mud splattered up the back of her legs, on her stomach, and even her harness was all clean. I'm like, what the heck? So she has some magical cleaning powers that I don't know about. But she had a lot of fun running around, and I'm glad I got that little bit with that little dog running flat out and Zippy just looping along beside her. It was really funny. And the dog owner thought it was hilarious. But both dogs got good runs out of it. It was awesome. And she had that big happy smile on her face when she's running and zooming around. And so, yeah, she was really good. And she quickly learned where the wet patches were because she hates getting her feet wet. And so she quickly learned where they were and managed to find her way around them, which was kind of cool. And so after we left the dog park, we went and got breakfast. And I said we did Burger King, so it was the first one we came across. And after we came across that, I was sort of like, this week is one of the because it's a few days before the 4th anniversary. I've noticed over the last 3 years that the emotions just go up and down, and the stress levels go up and down, and I start getting a lot of headaches because of the anxiety, the stress, and everything else leading up to his passing. Even though I can remember him with fondness, I can remember him with a lot of love and everything else, but grief just kicks your butt. It really does. And so I was just like, I really don't feel like going for a drive today. So we just headed straight back to the campground. We came inside, we sat down, we watched King Arthur, Legend of the Sword. It's one of our favorite movies to watch. If you have not watched it, it is amazing. I love it. I'm not really into the medieval fantasy type movies, but this one is really cool. And the fact that it has a really good cast as well makes it even better. But we watched that and tried to do some reading. It wasn't working. Headaches started coming on. So I thought, I'm just going to go and take a nap. So I tried to nap. It didn't really work. So I got up. I read some more. And I was just sort of like at a lost end. I didn't really know what to do with myself. Every time I came with a suggestion, I was like, I just don't feel like doing that. And there was no reason why I couldn't do it. I just didn't have the urge to go do it. Like I said, grief kicks you in the butt in unexpected ways, and you never know when it's going to hit you out of the ballpark or anything like that. So it was just sort of like, okay, we're just going to sit here in the recliner, and we're going to listen to an audiobook while we do jigsaw puzzles on Brad's iPad. So we did that, listened to an audiobook and did that. And it's like, I really don't feel like doing this. So I went back to bed again. I tell you, this is the most out of sorts day I have had in a long, long time, where My laundry's ready to go to take over to the laundry room and do. I took one look at it and went, absolutely not, no way, no how, not doing it, not doing it. I was just like, I'm going to bed. And so I went to bed and had a nap. So I was in and out of bed, reading, naps, all of that sort of stuff. And then I had some homework to do from our mastermind class yesterday. So I actually did get that done, which was kind of cool. And then I was reading it afterwards and I thought, that really sucks. Like I was reading through, because they give you all these, it's this really cool software. They give you these prompts and it comes out with your little speechy thing. And so I filled in all the prompts as I thought. And I'm reading it back and I go, that really sucks. So I'll probably redo it again throughout the week when I'm a little better frame of mind. But yeah, but today was very cloudy. I mean, the sun was out. It said it was only going to be like 94 degrees today and ended up being 101. So somebody got that one wrong. I'm looking forward to the beginning of the month, beginning of October, because it's meant to be in the high 80s, low 90s, and overnight temperatures supposed to be somewhere in the low 70s, high 60s. I'm like, yes, the cool nights are coming. Oh, yeah, it's just been one of those cloudy days, emotion-wise, just sort of one of those blah days where you want to be doing something and you're just not sure what you want to do, and you really don't feel like forcing yourself to do anything. So today was really very much of a take care day. So that's been our rest and relaxation and refresh day. Feeling a lot better now. Zippy really wants to go for a walk, so I've already got my shoes on. I got my earpiece in, so we listen to more small audiobook while we're out walking. She's resting up on her bed watching the activity outside, and so we're going to go for our walk now. We're going to go do our evening walk now. And oh my gosh, did California get shaken a little bit today? Shake It Up's meant to be Saturdays, not Sundays. Hope everybody's okay in California. What was I'm getting things. Oh my gosh, there's a lot of comments coming through. Hey, Casey. Hey, Cindy. Hey, Kathy. Thank you for tuning in. So how big of a shake did you guys get today in California? Anybody know what it was on the Richter scale? I'll have to go look it up. But yeah, so it's been a very weird day. I'm calling it a weird day today, but that's okay. 4.8. That's nothing. 4.8 is just sort of like a little rumble. That's okay. Yeah, I used to work in a building, and I was on the 13th floor of the building, and on an outside, so we could see everything and all that sort of stuff. And we would sit there and would feel the earthquake come through, and we would start taking bets on what we thought the earthquake was going to be. So, and some of them we didn't even notice. We didn't even know we'd had an earthquake till later on. But there were there's one building there that it was the Bank of New Zealand Tower, and it was this full glass building of like 20 stories or something, I don't know. But they ended up having to make a rule in that building that nobody could have a desk by the windows, because when the southerlies came through, which are really bad gusty winds, the building would actually sway 2 to 3 feet on either side and stuff, and they were having to send people home from motion sickness. So they wouldn't allow anybody to have desks from a certain floor up. You weren't allowed to have a desk by the window, because you could possibly end up getting motion sickness. So, and in the earthquakes, they were on these huge, big, giant rubber pads, so they would get some sway up there as well. But now building, 4.8 might have just registered with us, but not usually. So when you grow up with a country full of earthquakes, you kind of get used to them a little bit, and I know you shouldn't. But the best earthquake, we're driving down the road, and the road is coming towards us like this, and goes and rolls underneath it. You can actually see the roads and the paddocks were rolling towards us, and we kind of went up and down in the car. That was one of the coolest earthquakes I have been in. The scariest one was 2:00 in the morning. It felt like somebody had jumped on the living room floor directly above my bedroom, and I was in the house by myself. I'm trying to call 111, which is the emergency number in New Zealand, and couldn't get through. And so I called the next door neighbor, and he came over, and I met him at the garage door, and we went around the house and had a look. And it wasn't until the next day that they turned around and said that 111 crashed because they had so many calls from so many people living by themselves. When they heard this thump inside their house, they thought they had an intruder in the house, and it was actually an earthquake. So yeah, that one was think of being on a floor below another room and somebody just jumps on the floor, and like at 2:00 in the morning. It's kind of scary, especially when you're the only person in the house. So that was my scariest earthquake that I've been through. So, but anyway, I'm out of here. I've got a puppy that needs to go for WALK. Oh, she turned her head and looked at me at that one. Gonna go for a walk? Yeah. Okay, we're going to go for a walk. We're going to go see if we can find her friend Chloe, who couldn't come to the park and play with her today because they ended up having to go somewhere else today. So we'll go see if we can find them, and then she'll get to play and walk with them, and we'll try and get sorted out for next week as well. So have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your Serenity Sunday. Go out there, just go have a nice, relaxful weekend if you can. I'm already set up for next week. I did do that. I did get ready for next week. So my planner's all done. My to-do list is all done for the coming week. It's scheduled on my calendar as well. So yeah, go have a super fantastic, sparkling rest of your Serenity Sunday, and we will catch you guys back here bright and early tomorrow morning for Magic Monday. Hei konera.